tragic shootings of officers in Dallas, there is an apparent disconnect between communities and the police officers who protect them. Those behind the app COPsync are looking to bridge that gap and bring the men in blue and the public back together. Joining us right now is the CEO of COPsync, Woessner, and former NFL players Clinton Portis and Jack Brewer. Gentlemen, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it at this moment in time when so many of us are worried or scared about what has taken place. First, let's explain what this new app is, COPsync app. Ron, tell us about it.
COPsync is a system that provides patrol officers better information about the occupants and drivers of vehicles they make traffic stops on. With better information, they'll be able to make better decisions there at the point of contact.
Why isn't this in existence right now? And that seems pretty obvious that cops need that.
It's shocking that we don't have that in America today, the most advanced country in the world, but as a matter of fact, it does not exist. And we're the only company in America that's providing this connectivity and this information.
That's pretty unbelievable. Jack, Clinton, you're here. Why? Tell us why you are supporting this.
It's our obligation. You know, we're in a crisis situation right now. You know, the men that serve us and our citizens aren't seeing eye to eye. And I have a problem with that. You know, as an African-American man, you know, what other initiative and cause am I going to get behind? You know, when I grew up, I looked up to police officers. And now, you know, I look out and see kids that don't respect them. And so there needs to be a bridge there. And I think Clinton and myself have stepped up to make that challenge.
This is really important to hear the two of you talking about this. You guys are superstars. You're NFL. You are young people's mentor and what they look to become. So what are the messages you need to make sure resonate with young people, Clinton?
I think that's the issue. I think young people look up to athletes instead of the people that really are the saviors of our community, which are the police. So you got to reconnect the community. You got to get young people to understand these people are here to protect, not harm us. So the people that are bad, there's bad people in everything that we do, but you got to be able to identify that, get the community back connected, because the community is at a disconnect, so is the world right now.
What made you move to actually have a voice in this? Because you're right. You know, young kids don't grow up saying, I want to be a scientist. You know, I want to be Clinton Portis. I want to be Jack Brewer. That's who I want to be. So what you do and what you say is really important.
Well, that's because kids look up to athletes like you're not taught. That's the best thing to be right now, athlete or entertainment, because you're on TV. You get this opportunity. Everyone, oh, this is the right guy to look up to, not looking up to a scientist, not looking up to police officers or government or whatever else you can be that can be successful.
What do you think has happened? I mean, earlier I asked the question, what happened to the rule of law? Jack, I mean, how have we arrived here?
You know, our society has a lot of issues. You know, we have social media, and, you know, we have, you know, fatherless kids in our community. That's a huge problem.
Yeah.
And the sense of community is not there anymore. So these are deep-rooted issues. These can't just be resolved by picket signs and going outside and starting hashtags. It's deeper than that. And so for me, you know, when I really wanted to get involved, I saw all the division coming about. So if I support Blue Lives Matter, it all of a sudden means I don't support black people. And if I support Black Lives Matter, it means I don't support police officers. That's ridiculous. So we need to stop having the divisiveness in this country, and we need to come together and bring peace and love back to our communities.
How do you do it? I mean, obviously, you being such huge athletes, big superstars, doing this is step one, I do think.
It's easy to do it. You got to get the community from being undivided. Like Jack said, everyone has to make a choice. It's Black Lives Matter or Blue Lives Matter. Everyone matter. All lives matter. So why not support everybody? You don't have to make a decision. This isn't the presidential race where it's Republican or Democrat. This is a community where everyone matters. This
is the kind of leadership that you guys are exhibiting that I think people are just so desperate for right now, to bring us together.
Well, Maria, thank you, because there's not a lot of people that put us on and talk about these issues, or we're out in front of it.
Why not?
I don't know.
You're the mentors of our children. You're the ones that young people are looking up to, and old people, by the way.
Positivity don't sell anymore, so people don't want to see positivity.
Yeah, that's a sad statement, actually, that you just made. Tell us more about the app, Ron. I mean, you know, when you're gathering all of this data, how do you get it? How does it work? How do we know that they are, in fact, going to have enough information that they need at that point of contact?
Well, the concept here is there's 18,000 state and local law enforcement agencies in America comprising 1 million law enforcement officers. And as this network of subscribing officers grows, then more information is provided into the system. So, for example, in this tragic circumstance in Minneapolis, that young man that was killed by the police officer had 31 nonviolent contacts with law enforcement officers over the prior 12 years in routine traffic stops. Had the officer known that 31 encounters with police had no violence, then it's likely reasonable to assume that officer may have handled that circumstance very differently. The point is providing officers better information at the point of contact with the individuals in these vehicles will result in better decisions by the law enforcement officers. This will keep officers safer, and this will keep the community safer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, guys, emotions are high, tensions, people are on edge. What are the most important leadership statements that you can be putting out there right now to resonate with people, so we actually do see these incidents as bringing us together rather than dividing us even further?
Taking a step back, looking through other people's eyes. I can't see it from a police officer, and some people can't see it from a black man. I can. I've been pulled over. But at the same time, I know that I have to depend on police officers to protect and serve me, and there are just as many police officers in African-American communities as there are white officers. So we have to come together, Maria. We've started a campaign called Stand to Protect, and we're really trying to push for equality, but we're trying to push for togetherness and love, number one.
As Jack said, just take a step back. Think about it. If you take a step back, take a deep breath and stop being reactionary. Stop reacting to everything and just jumping to the forefront. So once you get the opportunity to think about it and pay attention, it kind of solves everything, kind of allows everything to slow down. And I think you make a better decision at that point.
And this is a hard thing to do when you see so many people getting killed. So it takes courage and strength to actually speak at the moment that we actually need to hear from you. General, thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you joining us this morning. We'll be watching. Thank you so much, Ron, as well. Clinton Portis, Jack Brewer, Ron Woessner there. Coming up.